There is no evidence for the historical existence and resurrection of Jesus. And even if he existed, he might have been a good man, but God? No way! The Shroud of Turin is a forgery from the Middle Ages, from the 14th century. It's not the burial cloth of Jesus. Pascal's wager? What makes you believe that you could not end up in Allah's hell?
There is more evidence for me, Jesus Christ, than combined by all world religions. My word, the Bible, and external reasons provide powerful, undeniable evidence that demonstrates beyond a reasonable doubt that I am who I said to be and that my word is true. Theology and philosophy, both lead to me. I am an eternal, self-existent, omnipresent transcendent, conscious, intelligent, personal, and moral creator. The cosmological argument leads to the God of the Bible. The Old Testament is a catalog prophecy that has been fulfilled through me, my mission, death, and resurrection that were foretold with specificity. Archaeology demonstrates that all events described in the Bible are historical facts. Historical evidence corroborates that I really did come to this earth, and really did physically rise from the dead. There are many testimonies of me doing miracles still today, and I appear to people all over the globe, still today. The signs of the end times that I foretold in my word, in special in Revelation, are occurring in front of your eyes. New World Order, Israel as a nation, microchip implant in the working, and so forth.
Claiming that God is eternal is special pleading. If a very large number of universes are created very frequently, one that gives rise to intelligent life is an inevitable product. Meantime, the vast majority of universes fail, though perhaps in some, someone is there thinking.
If logic does not account for justifiable special pleading, then such logic is clearly flawed. Of course, an infinite creator who created everything would involve a justifiable special pleading. Such a creator would not be like the rest of us. It is as simple as seeing the difference between an infinite being, notice I didn't say existence, and billions of finite beings. The one infinite being is clearly different. The one infinite being who created all existence is quite different than those finite beings who are created by such being. This is why we have something as basic as justifiable special pleading to account for this every clear difference between an infinite creator who created everything and all other finite existences.
If a multiverse exists, there is one, where I am richer than the 1,000 richest billionaires together, where I play better football than Neymar and Messi together, where I win at any sport competition, where I can time travel, surrounded always by 70 virgins, where there are billions of habitable planets, and I have spaceships to visit all of them. All habitants on each planet regard me as their king, and there is an interplanetary internet. Hail the multiverse! Hail the new theory of science! The multiverse should be shaved with Occam's razor. We don't need it to explain reality, it's only advanced to keep from having to turn to God. It's naturalistic, so it's an arbitrary necessity at best. Arbitrary necessitates are logical impossibilities, contingent things jumped up to the level of necessity to answer a God argument. It's not we are going to disprove the unnecessary entity, but we are going refrain from advancing its existence as an assumption until such a time that real empirical evidence makes it necessary. Therefore, multiverse should be taken out of the issues of God arguments.
Evolution is a theory and a fact. Natural selection has been observed, and there is tons of evidence corroborating it. And there is consensus in science. The universe and the Earth are billions of years old. Young Earth creationism is ridiculous and laughable. We are on the side of reason and science, and not religion, superstition, and magic. Noah's flood did never happen. A God that is omniscient, omnipotent, and omnipresent cannot logically exist.
The assertion that biodiversity is due to evolution is held on faith by its supporters, since the crucial evidence to back up the claim is lacking. Natural selection is not powerful enough to cause huge change. To generate large sections of brand new genetic codified information, which would be necessary to generate entirely new taxonomic families. The science paper, The Fundamental Theorem of Natural Selection with Mutations from 2017 says, and I quote, "The vast majority of mutations are deleterious. This is one of the most well-established principles of evolutionary genetics, supported by both molecular and quantitative genetic data. A great deal of evidence from several sources strongly suggests that the overall effects of mutations are to reduce fitness. You can beat consensus in science with one fact. But you can't convince an idiot about God's existence with 1,000 facts. Much of the settled science that even geologists and other degree-holding scientists accept is really not established fact, it's only most widely accepted hypothesis, and some actually ignore evidence that might support other and better inferences from available data and evidence, because that indicates something other than the consensus opinion on a subject. Never mind that almost all the most groundbreaking and world-changing scientific and mathematical breakthroughs from Galileo to Newton, to Pasteur, to Pascal and Einstein, etc., were made by people who rejected conventional wisdom or went well beyond what everybody knows.
It is irrational to believe in God since there is no evidence for his existence. God creating the world is magic.
God condoned slavery and genocide, and God drowned babies. There's so much evil in the Bible. Look at the religious leaders and their hypocritical behavior, and the negative influence of religion in society. Look how many wars have been started in the name of religion.
They put the evidence for the Bible on the same level as for Islam, Hinduism, and other religions. Amazing. They also ignore the fact that Christ's first and second command, to love God and to love people, improves society. The values of the Western world were shaped based on Christian moral values. Interestingly, those same people turn a blind eye to their worldview based on naturalism.
Atheists and agnostics spend their entire time trying to convince themselves, and theists, that believing in God is irrational, and come up with many arguments to support their views. Some of their arguments are exposed in this video. What they rarely do, however, is scrutinize the worldview that the natural world is all there is, and its implications. Would they do it with the same dedication that they try to refute theistic beliefs, and permit the evidence to lead wherever it is? I doubt they would remain atheists any longer. While they present one of their chief arguments, evolution by natural selection, they for the most part, entirely ignore to ask themselves, if not God, what selection mechanism was in place to get to life, and evolution, in the first place. Natural selection works when there is life and self-replication. Not before. Many things had to be selected and instantiated to get there. The precise, finely adjusted expansion rate of the Big Bang had to be selected. So the fundamental forces of the universe and the right coupling constants, the right-sized quarks and composition to have the right protons, neutrons, and electrons, to have stable atoms, the right fine-tuned parameters that go into the hundreds to have a life-permitting universe, in special the Earth, the electromagnetic spectrum, and water. The right nucleobase isometries to have Watson-Crick base pairing, and stable DNA, all the functional parts for the first living cell, the right genome, proteome, metabolome, and interactome, before you get to the first free-living, self-replicating cell, where supposedly evolution and natural selection could theoretically kick in, and start doing its business. The problem is, mindless nature has no goals, no purpose, no will, no foresight, and no intention to bring forward life. The lack of an alternative viable, possible, plausible, probable alternative selection mechanism replacing an intelligent mind with intentions means a checkmate for naturalism. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe.